play the game. So he punts on 4th and 3, down 24 points in the third quarter from the Saints' 40-yard line.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think was behind that? Do you think he was out to lunch? Like, literally just sort of on cruise control and didn't quite understand the ramifications of what he was doing at the time? Was he trying to manage defeat like he did last year, say, against the Buffalo Bills, just try to make this final score look as respectable as possible?
Mm-hmm.
Was he trying to protect somebody? Was he trying to show somebody up? What was behind giving up on the game at that point yesterday? Do you have any theories, Mazz?
Yeah, I will say disgust and minimizing damage. But I'll say a lot of it was driven out of disgust. Bill's disgusted in his team. He's disgusted in himself. He's lost confidence in his players. I think they've lost confidence in him. I think they've lost confidence in the quarterback. I think they've all lost confidence in each other. How about that? And I think it was largely born out of, I will say, disgust. Just, you know what? We're just going to play this straight. We're going to lose 24-0, 27-0, whatever the number ends up being. And we're going to minimize the damage, and then we're going to start all over. That is sort of how I reconcile it. I've heard people say he gave up. I would generally agree. He did. That's what I think. I think that this is never in Patriots history, not Bill Belichick history, have they lost 2 games in a row by 34 or more. That has never happened until now. Okay, this is an all-time franchise low in some ways. In some ways. Not every way, some ways.
Yeah, I think it was nothing more than pure capitulation. And part of it is, he doesn't believe in the team. But again, he built the team. So he's fully responsible for what he's seeing out there. But the effort's not there, too. Like, there's quit on behalf of, I think, a lot of the players. Maybe he's lost buy-in. They've tuned him out. Maybe they've tuned out the quarterback, or they hate the quarterback. We can get into that later. But I just think it was the hell with this.
Well, I mean, let's get into it now, because I think that's the story. I mean, obviously it starts with talent and the roster that he built. Like, that's obvious. They don't have enough talent, and he is responsible for that, and that's where everyone starts, and you should. I'm not, like, but when you lose consecutive games by a score of 72-3, as you're saying, that now we're beyond talent, right? Like,
no question.
The part that interests me is the tune out, the giving up, there's a story on the team that again goes beyond talent. Look, the first 2 games of the year, Philadelphia and Miami, that was talent.
Yep.
They played hard-ish.
Mm-hmm.
They tried.
Agreed.
They fought to the end.
They had a chance to win those games.
They were in those games against better teams, and they came up short because they don't have the horses. You could talk to me week 1 and week 2 and say the story is they don't have enough, and I would agree. Because I think the team tried those weeks. The last 2, they've given up. So that, to me, is what interests me now on top of or outside of the talent. What have they give? What's going on there? And I think it's quarterback related. I mean, I do. I think, Colin Cowherd hears things, and I think he's onto something there with Mac Jones. And Burt Blair had some reports yesterday about some of the things that Mac Jones has been doing in games has been called out in practice.
Yeah, he brought that up in the pregame with Gasper, and I hadn't heard that before. And so I asked him, so what do you mean by that? And he said, well, it's the throwing across his body, freelancing, essentially acting like he's Patrick Mahomes. And apparently defensive players are like, what the hell are you doing? You can't do this.
So calling him out in practice. Like, in the middle of a practice, Mac Jones throws across his body or throws a ball that could be intercepted, and the defenders, instead of, celebrating their play, stopping dude, what are you doing? And I had heard something through the ether that there was a practice thing, right around the time that Colin Cowherd sort of mentioned that stuff about Mac Jones not having many allies in the building. Someone had mentioned that there was a practice incident or something. I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like there's something. To me, that's the story right now. What happened beyond the talent? Because we know they lack talent. We know they're not a Super Bowl team because of the talent. But they shouldn't, when you start losing 38-3 and 34-0 at home in consecutive weeks, now there's a story beyond your lack of talent. What is that story? And I think it started with the quarterback. And somehow, I don't know, look at what they've been since he cracked Sauce Gardner in the nuts. Just go through their offensive possession since then. And how they look the next week. Non-responsive, non-engaged, non-resilient, not fighting to the end. They were fighting before that point. And after the Sauce Gardner play, just look at someone tally up the yards. Someone tally up the first downs. And I don't know if like that was it or something at practice or something, but I think it is starting with them giving up on the quarterback. Just a guess.
Yeah, look, I rule out nothing. I think they're broken internally. I think they've been broken for some time. I'm not sure Bill ever wanted Mac Jones. I think last year was a train wreck, and we can say it was good for the first couple of games, but that stuff comes back out under duress. So any resentment that is still there will come out. I don't have any doubt that the other players on the team look at Mac Jones and say, you're killing us. You're not good enough. They don't believe in the quarterback. I'm not sure they have a quarterback the team can believe in, which is another problem unto itself. And the stuff in practice, as you're saying it, I'm just thinking out loud. Did anyone defend Jones, including the coach?
After the Sauce Gardner thing?
No. In practice. Like if there's stuff going on in practice and the guys are yelling out on the other side, what are you doing? Are the coaches saying just play defense?
I don't know.
No. So what I'm saying is, because I think there's always been a problem between the coach and the quarterback. I think that's what's at the heart of it. And so if the other guys are looking at it and saying the coach doesn't believe in the quarterback, then it opens the door for them to go off on the quarterback too.
Well, now I wonder if Bill's hurting himself by sticking with the quarterback too much. It's obvious they need to take a breather from Mac Jones right now.
He's broken.
He's busted.
Oh, he is. Is he ever?
He's absolutely busted, fractured. And I think it's permeating the team. They have to sit him. They have to. You can't keep going into these games just to pull them by the third quarter. That is dysfunctional. They have to sit Mac Jones. But now I get the sense Bill, that big freaking baby, is now saying, oh, now you want me to bench him? I'm not going to bench him. Like back to the Cam Newton year, when it was obvious that Cam Newton should be taking a seat and you should be seeing what you got with Jared Stidham. And would it have made a difference? That's not the point. The point is that it's clearly broken with your starting quarterback. And people are calling for you to make a change. So you know what happens when you try and tell a 2-year-old to do something? No.
Microphones are always the first to get it.
Yeah, no, we need to play better.
All right, well, obviously it was
That's Belichick opening up his press conference yesterday.
It's unbelievable.
We need to play better, coach better. Yeah. You do all this. So
He literally took the mic out of the holder yesterday and laid it down on the podium in front of him.
because it was definitely the NFL's fault. The way the team is right now, definitely. Is Barstool blaming Goodell? I'm going to sell some T-shirts on that?
Probably.
It's definitely the league's fault.
With the clown nose.
Definitely, Bill. I would definitely go take this time to go after the NFL because it's clearly the NFL's fault. He's still with this thing with the NFL because they made him.
I mean, he's been persecuted by the league.
They made him stick to his Jets contract.
Yeah.
Like, is that what? Or you were taping him, Bill? Like, what do you want? You were futzing with the football, so you still like. What's your deal? So okay, but back to the quarterback thing. So now I think it's just like, oh, you want me to change the quarterback? No. And so now, so now he's just sticking with Mac Jones to be just because people want him to do the other thing.
Well, that's a good reason.
Or because it's the owner's guy, and the owner got, I think, supported the quarterback more than Bill did.
Okay, so is Bill saying, all right, hey, Robert, this is your guy.
I think that's part of it.
Yeah, so do I.
And it's sort of
He's
like
pouting.
Sort of back to 4th and 3. If I had to guess on anything why he punted, it's because he wanted to put his defense in the best position because his kids are on defense, and that's his side of the ball. And in what is obviously certainly has to be some sort of internal pissing match, because how could there not be? It's somewhere there Bill says, well, the offense isn't my problem. You're 1 for 17 on 3rd and 4th down, Robert. What do you want me to do? That's not and he's in charge of the defense. His kids are on the defense, so he's going to just put his defense in the best position to succeed. Why 2 weeks ago was Mac Jones out of the game, but Matthew Judon still in the game? I don't know, because he just cares more about defense. I don't know, something like that. Something petulant and childish is the answer.
Okay, and I would argue that stuff's always been there with him. It comes out now, right? I'm not disagreeing with it.
Definitely always been there.
Yeah, it's always been there with him. So, I just think that the dysfunction now is boiling over. It is boiling over. It's spilling over the sides of the pan and everything else. They are a freaking mess. 5 games in, we're starting over?
You have to change the quarterback. You have to. There comes a point when your quarterback is damaged, broken. Mac Jones is freaking broken. You could tell the first drive, those first couple balls. Zappe did it too, but I think Jones is doing it. Well, maybe they're doing it for the same reason, because they know they can't turn the ball over. So Jones airmails the first 2 throws. He makes sure that it's not going to be intercepted. Either my guy's catching it or it's incomplete, because I'm not going to get benched for incompletes. And then he comes out and throws a pick 6. And it's like, are you going to keep doing that? You're just going to keep doing that over and over again, and you're not going to change now because people want you to change? I mean, is that it? Or you're trying to prove a point here? Okay, Robert, this is your guy. You and Maddie there. Okay, it's your guy. I don't know. You tell me. Whatever it is, it's not the right reason.
No, it's definitely not the right reason.
Whatever his rationale is, it's not. It's not the right rationale.
Yeah, look, if you're asking me my 2 cents, how it looks, how you've described it is 100% accurate, and this is what it looks like at the end. This is what it looks like.
I didn't think it'd be this bad. I thought last week was rock bottom. This is worse.
Oh, I never thought it would be this bad. I thought they just have been talking forever about their floor and how they're never going to suck. As long as you build, they're never going to suck. They're never going to be like that. Good call, Felger. Another one. I never thought they'd be like this.
Well, it's the optimist in you. You underestimated human pettiness.
No, it's my positivity.